What's up, sons of Montezuma? The Aztecs are just a few days away from taking on Oregon State. Coach C joins the show to talk about what went wrong against UCLA and how the Aztecs can get back on track against the Beavers. Okay, everybody, welcome back, Aztec Nation, to another episode of the Sons of Montezuma podcast. It is that day of the week, and we appreciate you guys for tuning in, whether you're listening in your car, watching at work. Whether we're winning or losing, we want to pay attention and find out what happened. And the Aztecs suffered their first defeat of the season to UCLA, 35-10. It could have went a couple different ways, but we're going to get all into it. I am joined with our resident coach, Coach C.
Just win, baby.
And of course, before we jump into everything, we want to thank you guys for checking out our NIL shop at sonsofmontezuma.com. Definitely appreciate all the support of our players on the team, all their merchandise, their shirts, and of course, our original clothing. And man, the last few weeks, we've had some pretty good sponsorships. First with Mars Energy Cream. I'm definitely taking some on this trip to Corvallis because I'm going to need it to withstand all four quarters of this game against the Beavers, the Oregon State Beavers. And of course, can't forget about IMD vehicle wraps. They are down in Chula Vista. Check out our latest YouTube videos for more information on how you can have your vehicle represented in advertising. They will take care of you, just like they do all of our Aztecs. Coach C, how are you doing, man? I trust that you got a chance to watch the game of the week last week, the Aztecs falling to UCLA. It was a tough one, but we're going to get into all of it. What are your initial thoughts? What happened? What went wrong?
Yeah, it was a frustrating game to watch because I think we just, close game, started the game off really well, making them go 3-and-out. And then all of a sudden just seemed things snowballed a little bit. And sometimes when you watch a team try too hard and you start pressing a little bit, one little mistake can turn into a big play. And what we saw with UCLA, they got a couple of big plays just from assignment breakdowns. They took advantage of it. And, it seemed like, shucks, these 21 points were really based on the early 21 points was just based on some 2 big plays, 3 big plays. But it was like, man, we're not too far from this, but we just seem to be going uphill the whole game, on the offensive side of the ball, especially. Like we were pressing and nothing was coming easy. We couldn't get into a rhythm, and a lot of self-inflicted wounds on ourselves. And that's frustrating because you really, by week 3, you really want to see our team hone things down, iron wrinkles out. And that's tough to do when you got a good football team like UCLA with a young quarterback. And he found his rhythm and made some plays and all, and you were hoping that our guys were going to be able to. And it just really, after every mistake, you were just seeing body language change a little bit, and that we just really couldn't get out of. So frustrating game indeed.
Well, we knew this was going to be a tough stretch of games, even though we started the first 2 at home. The next several of them are against some really tough teams that have like at least 9-10 wins last season. UCLA is much improved. So it was a lopsided score when you look at the final result. But I know there were quite a few missed opportunities. That was kind of the theme of the game. Mistakes, self-inflicted wounds, missed opportunities, a couple of plays, and this game could have been a little bit different.
No doubt. And, whenever you're struggling in a game and, the coaches are really trying to pick up the players, because coaches can tell. They know these boys really well. They see them every day at practice. They can tell when the energy's right. They can tell when the flow is going. And then coaches know themselves, as far as they get in a rhythm as well, too. They see things well. They're calling the plays the right way. But sometimes when you're really searching for things and you can see by your players' body language that things aren't going smooth, everything, like I said before, is going uphill, you got to remind players. You got to do everything you can to keep their energy strong, keep that belief that, hey, we're all right, just keep fighting. And here you look at the bottom of this screen, you see the score. It's a 21-7 ball game. You're at the bottom half of the second quarter, and it's a 3rd and 12, but you're at the 7-yard line. You got a shot here. And what you always got to remind players, and this is going to be true coming up even in Corvallis, you're always going to have an opportunity. There's always going to be opportunities that are going to rise up. And are you going to be ready for that opportunity? They rose up for the UCLA game, and we didn't take advantage of them, and sometimes as a baseball player, sometimes that pitcher is going to make a mistake and he's going to throw a fat one for you, and you got to be ready for it to, send that thing over the fence. And here's San Diego State. They're fighting, still had their struggles. UCLA got a few of them on them. Their UCLA's feeling good, and we're not. But yet, even in a situation where it's 3rd and 12, opportunity arises for us to cut this thing to a one-score game. We got Jalen going back to pass, reads the safety off real quick, throws a great ball, and there we go. We got opportunity right there. Opportunity has raised its head. Receiver has a chance to make a play, and our coaches during the week has to remind our Aztec players, this weekend, this is going to happen again. I don't care how tough the game might feel, might seem, what it's looking like, whether we feel like we're surfing on that wave and everything's going great, or it's not. Opportunity is always going to find a chance, and you just got to be ready for it. And Saturday, unfortunately, when those opportunities showed up, we let them slip through our hands, so to speak. No pun intended in this case. But we got the guy beat, and there's no way that happens, on a consistent basis. We make that catch, 99 out of 100 times, but then it was just that one time we let it go through our hands. And I've been there, man, just didn't see the ball right, didn't judge it right. And going on our, it just didn't come through, unfortunately. It was a little out of focus. And again, you see body language from players and Aztec guys, that when you see this, it's like, and you're just feeling like that instead of, I'm going to get it again. And it was just one of those days. It was just one of those days that instead of it now being 21-14 and trying to get a stop, we just didn't make it happen. And then here we are again, it's late 3rd quarter. This game is not out of hand here. By no means is it out of hand. As you can see, it's a 28-10 game. It's not like they're scoring on every drive. Here we have a chance. It should be a 28-14 ball game right here. Instead, we ended up kicking that field goal earlier, and this would make it a 28-21 game. Again, a one-score game late in the 3rd quarter. You're at home. With the offense struggling like they were, you'll take that. It's like, all right, we might find something here. And once again, opportunity comes up, and it's an easy walk-in touchdown. Make the catch, you walk in the end zone, strike up the fight song, and you're down by 1 touchdown. And now you're coming to the sideline a little bit different. And what our coaches are going to have to do this week, and with our players, is remind them of these 2 plays that, hey, mistakes do happen. You're a young player. You're trying to figure things out. Sometimes you press a little bit. What you cannot do come this weekend against a good Oregon State team is hang your head down all week feeling like, doggone it, we just don't know how to win and all that. We're still up 2-0 before this is even happening. Now you're 2-1, still a good football team, but we really shot ourselves in the foot. Not to take anything away from UCLA, but opportunity is going to come up again this Saturday. Can we take advantage of it? Can we correct these little mistakes that we made? Because here it was again, 14 points we left up on the board. And unfortunately, it gets deflected in the air. They intercept it, and bye-bye opportunity, bye-bye one-score game. UCLA scored one more time after this, and if we score those 2 touchdowns, no doubt our energy is different. It's just the way the Aztec players always have played, that when they're feeling good, boy, it's like there's 15 guys on the football field at once on both sides of the field, but instead, just it seemed like every little mistake that we made, the body language, the shoulders would droop down a little bit. And I've been there. It's just tough because you're really trying to find, how do I get out of this funk? How do I get out of this, get the boys to start executing like we want them to? And it's plays like this that really don't help when they don't work out. But you got to remind the guys, it's going to happen again. We're going to be there again at the 1. We're going to be there when we beat a DB, and you're going to have your chance. And let you keep telling yourself, I'm going to make the play. That I'm not going to let that slip again. And when you do make that play, you remind yourself, man, I got it corrected. And it starts getting that energy that you spoke of earlier, that these players are going to need. And I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to seeing how they respond. For sure, they're up in Corvallis with the tough challenge, no doubt.
That's a good way to say it. One thing we wanted to see in this next game, because the Beavers are tough, but you just want to be able to see, like what you're pointing to, a little improvement, right? Hey, you correct some things. If you correct those things, it's something to build on. It's something to right the ship in the right direction after this past week. Of course, we all want to turn the page, get on to a next chapter, and that is the Oregon State Beavers, a really talented team, another over 10 win team last year. So Oregon State's very talented. They have obviously a very talented quarterback coming in from Clemson. He's a California kid from I believe the Riverside area, and with the transfer portal, he made his way back to the West Coast area and the Pac-12. So tell us a little bit about DJ. I want to say his name right. Uigalele.
Good job. Good job. St. John Bosco kid.
Yeah.
I remember when he was in high school, he was actually him and Bryce Young. They were going toe to toe there. Bryce Young was at Mater Dei, of course, and then DJ was at St. John Bosco. Terrific talents for sure, and had a lot of hype going into Clemson. Unfortunately for DJ, things were tough there. It was, again, kind of what we've seen from our offense here, as far as just trying to find that rhythm and all that. Unfortunately for DJ there in Clemson, just couldn't find it. Had some ups and downs, and made the move to Oregon State, and definitely has talent, no doubt. Definitely has talent. And boy, is he a big kid, big arm. When he starts running with the ball, watch out. He can really lay you out and whatever else. Well, we have to make sure come Saturday, we cannot let him get comfortable. One thing about Clemson while he was there is that, he didn't like being rushed into things, it seemed like. And when he was rushed into things, he really kind of lost a lot of accuracy whatsoever. And that's an even quarterback, to be honest with you. But when he does have the time, when he feels comfortable and he's seen the field, he's as good as any. He's really a great quarterback. This is just a clip here. The last thing we can do is let DJ feel comfortable where he can scan the field. Oregon State's going to come with a great run attack. We have to be able to stop the run. And if we can stop the run, there's half the battle. That's Captain Obvious type of statement and all that. But they do run the ball really, really, really well. Really well. And it just really helps a quarterback to know that, all right, I'm always going to be in a third and short situation. Well, here, this is a clip of a third and long. And we're going to see San Jose State drop 8. And usually a smart quarterback, if they're dropping 8, the last thing you want to do is rush a throw. It's hard to complete a ball versus 8 defenders dropping into coverage, unless he starts using common sense and saying, you know what, if they're only rushing 3, I can take my time. And the last thing we can do is something that looks like this, where you're watching this as we snap the ball here. And DJ, he's at the park seeing what, he's just waiting and waiting and waiting, and lets his coverage come open, making a play. And I noticed during this game against San Jose State, who was a very good football team as well, that, boy, when he got in a rhythm, he just felt no pressure whatsoever. And we can't afford to do that this weekend. We got to go ahead and disguise things. San Diego State's always been good at disguising things, sometimes bringing 5, sometimes bringing 3, sometimes bringing 8. You just never, and we want DJ to feel like, he's not sure, and sometimes make a quarterback feel like there's ghosts out there, that he thinks 8's coming when there's only really 4 coming, and him getting rid of the ball a little bit sooner than what he would like, and maybe we can get a deflection. Again, opportunity is going to come up. It came up for the defense against UCLA. It's going to come up against Oregon State and Mr. Uigalele, and I hope I said that right as well. Awesome last name, by the way. Hopefully it comes up again, and I think it will. It's just a matter of, are Aztecs, are our boys going to be ready for that, and are they going to take advantage of that? And that's the fun part about being a fan of such young men, because watching them grow, watching them mature, watching them improve, and, these boys are going to be hyped. It's Oregon State. They're a good football team. They're top 20, and for good reason they're top 20, and we're in their house. That's a tough place to win at. Ask USC. Every time they go there, It's tough. And we're going to see what kind of metal our boys are made out of for sure come this Saturday. I'm looking forward to it. I know we're a tough-minded team. We got a lot to get after it, and I can't wait for them to, go ahead and get back to flexing like Aztecs do. And just be ready for those opportunities that show up, because I have a funny feeling we're going to be able to make this into a tough ball game and keep it close to the end. And who knows? Who knows what can happen? It'd be a great win if we can find a way for sure.
Well, I will be there in attendance. I've been to one of our matchups with them several years ago, and it will definitely be rocking. Realistically, what should we expect with after coming off this performance? A bit of a disappointment, no sugarcoating it, but Oregon State, they're rolling.
Yeah, and what you see with Oregon State, and I really enjoyed watching their film, that's for sure, and just looking at them, because it's just, as a coach myself, when I look at teams and you can tell this is what our identity is, and this is what we're going to do. We're not going to go over and beyond what we are as a team. And we're going to focus on being a physical run team. We're going to execute some great concepts in the passing game, utilize play action, utilize the screen stuff, but not get beyond who we are. We're going to play to our strengths. What I'm noticing with our Aztecs this year is we're still trying to find that identity on the offensive side of the ball of just, what are we right now? What is it that we're really good at? And sometimes as an offensive play caller, and I've been there where, it's a rough start to the season. A lot of times what you want to do is you want to take what you have as far as your whole playbook is concerned, and you want to stream it down to the point that, let's just get great at these 5 concepts right here. And from those 5 concepts, what's the best play action off of those 5 concepts? What's the best run plays off of those concepts right there? And just rehearse and get really great where it's a smooth read for the quarterback every single time. Offensive linemen are never confused about, here's our concepts, what we want to get done. Here's what we see in the box. And it just makes thinking happen less in the respects that, we get a little confused. And so for a coach, you really try to just simplify things. And once you start seeing that they're really getting the concept to get concrete into their mind, that they're understanding exactly, then you can go ahead and, decorate that a little bit different, throw emotion in there and still have the same kind of spot concept, the stick concept, the play action off of power concept, whatever. I really like our running backs. I like the Armstead kid, the Christian kid, and all that. To me, it's a thunder and lightning kind of a thing. Every time Christian has the ball, something happens with that kid. He's special. He had a great run against UCLA where it looked like he broke 18 tackles, and it was like, this guy has some juice about him, and we got to utilize that. And to me, I'm hoping to see is that we can get some basic concepts, use those 2, what is this kid best at? From the I formation, is he best from a single back? And let's give him 15 to 22 touches today. Let's tell Armstead, hey, you're going to get your 8 to 12 touches, not always in the same situations here, and have an identity with those 2. And let the O-line know, hey, listen, we're going to get these boys to rock. And then for Jalen, these are the 5 concepts that we want to go with, or maybe 8 concepts where we're talking 5-step or 3-step if it's out of shotgun. And then the quick game. Here's your favorite, or what we notice. What are his favorite quicks? And of course, you ask him that. What's your favorite quick passes and whatever else, based on the coverages that you see that Oregon State utilizes a lot. And so once they start doing that on a consistent basis and seeing that rehearsed really well and executed really well at practice, then you really start trying to disguise it, like I said, and really give it a different look instead of expanding out. All right, now let's try this play. Now let's try this play. And it was unfortunate. Like I said, I saw a receiver screen there where our linemen are not they're not going upfield to make blocks. One does, but he's going in, as a decoy. But then our other 2 linemen don't do it, and we have a receiver running right into defenders without any help. And those little things sometimes can be little alerts to a coach. Maybe I'm throwing too much out there. And when you're struggling, sometimes you're just trying to find anything on that play sheet. Let's see if this will work, and maybe we can get something to spark something. But as you get prepared for a team like this after a tough ball game, you really want to say, all right, let's get back to just establishing what we can develop right away, get good at, and then hopefully that really gives us an identity that we can really start building for the rest of the season on.
Against Oregon State, you just hope, hey, it serves as a great opportunity to get things locked down, like what you're saying, dial in that playbook, get ready for Boise State next Friday, with a short week. And hey, just keep playing hard, get out there. Well, on the defensive side, though, UCLA was a big team. Their offensive line did a great job. Their running game did a great job. Against Oregon State, it's a little bit of a different, more experienced quarterback, a really young, hard runner. What would you tell our defensive group coming into this game?
There's no doubt what I saw with the big run that they had in the first quarter, their second touchdown of the game. I believe it was an 80-yarder or 75-yard touchdown. And that was just basically assignment football. We were in the wrong run fit. We had an outside backer coming in and bringing pressure from the same gap that our D end was coming out, and you had two guys on the outside and they left an inside gap wide open. A communication mistake. A run fits is a big, big deal. Oregon State, because of how well they run the ball, I guarantee you, our defensive coaching staff has spent the week making sure that we don't give them any freebies by making mental mistakes. Run fits, being in the correct gap, everybody on the same page, and making sure that, hey, if we're in the right assignment, we're in the right gap, and they still execute because of just talent level or whatever, you can live with that. You can go into your conference and saying, at least we're doing the right thing, and now we just got to get better and better. But when you're making mental mistakes and you're giving freebies away, like what happened on that big run play, those are frustrating because now that's a concentration issue. And when you have concentration issues, you can lose to anybody. And it doesn't matter if it's a UCLA or if it's a UC Davis or a JC program. You can't make mental mistakes against anyone. And I think the nice thing about us now facing an Oregon State, there can't be no let up as far as this team we should beat this week, and you let it slide. No, there's going to be a sense of urgency, man. If we make these kind of mistakes, it's going to be worse and all that. But if on the flip side, if we can get this corrected, like I said before, opportunity is going to rise up. You know what I mean? Our boys have to know that they're going into this game. They can't act surprised if they find themselves going into the fourth quarter where everybody's putting their four fingers up. And it's a one-score game, or we're in this game. You have to have that mentality that you expect that if we do our job, and you look at each other and as far as coaches and brothers and your teammates, can I count on you to do your job? And part of that's going to be communication and all that. So that was frustrating with the UCLA thing because, I think we made them look better than really what they were. They're a good team. They got some good talent is concerned. But, boy, it's frustrating when we're dropping passes. We're not in the right run fits. We're not doing assignment and doing our job and making them look better than what they are. And we look worse than what we were. It's like we're really not that. Like you said earlier, we're not that Aztec team. But the question is going to be for the coaches. They're going to challenge our players. Who are you? And here's a chance on the first road game of the year. They're going to be hyped. They're going to come in thinking that this is going to be something where they think they're going to blow us out. And who cares what they think? It matters what we think. And can we count on each other to do your assignment? And so that really is what comes down with the defensive side of the ball. DJ is not the type of quarterback where he's going to be wanting to throw it 55 times a game. And he can. But, he's that type of quarterback where if he has good balance, he's got good protection, boy, he can really eat you alive. He's going to run some quarterback counters and all that, but if he's going to drop back on every pass play, sometimes he likes to airmail a few of them. And, we want to take advantage of that if we can give him a feeling that an extra guy's coming when they're really not, and he ends up thrown into coverage. And that's what I saw from his Clemson days, where it was just, he just wouldn't see a defender, or he just kind of was off a little bit. We got to find a way to kind of get him to repeat some of those throws that he had struggled with in Clemson.
Well, after 3 straight home games, I think this road test is going to be good for the team. Get them out there on the road together. Get them, hey, it's them against the world, the world of Corvallis. That stadium is going to be packed. It's going to be loud. The energy is going to be flowing. So you hope that the guys are prepared, focused, and ready to play for each other, like you said. I think UCLA, like you hit it right on the head. I don't think when the Pac-12 shakes out at the end of the year, they're not going to be in the top, 3 or 4 teams. So you just know you can be looking back on this UCLA game, and wishing you had that one back. But this week is a chance to turn it around, get things corrected, and I can't wait to be there this Saturday on FS1 for all of you Aztecs fans watching on television. 12:30 kickoff in Corvallis. The team, I believe the team, everybody's making a fuss. They're actually staying in Portland and have to drive there to Corvallis, so over an hour drive that morning, because the hotel they were going to stay at actually caught on fire, and they couldn't find a hotel closer to Corvallis, so they gotta do a little drive that morning, just like the Sons of Montezuma crew, who we will be out there in Portland and Corvallis.
That's tough. That's tough. I've been in that situation before. That's tough. Hopefully they get there early enough where they can really get their legs back and all that. And so this is going to be a great opportunity. Like I said, I've had seasons where we've played nothing but ranked teams before we got into conference. We got thumped 5 times, but it was great to see. And our players looked at us weird because we as a coaching staff could see improvement every week. We played the number 1 team. This was at the JC level. We got beat 65-7. And I was so proud of our boys because we had almost 400 yards of offense on that team. We just didn't have the muscle to punch the ball through the goal line, but we moved the ball really well. We were the first team to score on these guys before anybody did. And I just knew, and our players looked at us crazy because it's no fun getting thumped. But I was like, boy, you guys are a really good football team. Wait till we get to conference. And we rolled from that point on. We got to conference and went undefeated and got to a bowl game and, thumped that team, a number 9 team. And it was just, and it didn't surprise us because these boys took on the challenge and they took it like men and they grew together because they never gave up. And, you're going to have your problems. That's what I want to see from our Aztec players. It's like, yeah, we're struggling. Yeah, we haven't found it, but we know we're good. We know we can find ways to win. Even if it's ugly, we can find ways to win. And that's what excites me. Because once they do find that rhythm, we know we have the defense and all, and we know they're going to get it fixed. I also love our quarterback. The kid's a player, man. He's a gamer. And I like our backfield a whole lot, and we got some receivers that are just, they're scrappy. And that's what I love to see. And I'm really looking forward, Coach Hulk and the coaching staff, of just continue to bring that starch out, iron these, wrinkles out as much as you can. And once that thing gets going, yes, we want to beat the Boise States, the Air Forces, and get these guys through. Let's get this Mountain West back where it belongs, where it's always been for the last few years here in San Diego, and where we own it. And we want to make sure we continue to carry that mantle for sure.
All right, Coach C, we appreciate your time this week on another episode of the Sons of Montezuma podcast with the Coach C Clinic, because the game tape does not lie, and we appreciate you showing us some film. Can't wait to get up there in Corvallis. Hey, they might be a potential future conference mate. We'll see. Them in Washington State. That's another podcast for another time, though. All right, everybody, make sure you are checking out sonsofmontezuma.com, our online shop, all of our NIL players, and more to come. Coach, we'll see you soon next week. Hopefully, we're talking about a victory and looking forward to Boise State next Friday.
Go Aztecs.
Go Aztecs, everybody.
I'm an
Let's
Aztec
go.
warrior.
Grind.
Yo.
Just win, baby.